Bonjour, c'est Clara French in the Midlands. In this video, we're going to talk about confusing French vowel sounds, and I'm going to give you examples for each one. And we're going to go through 3 simple sounds and 5 compound sounds. In French, there are 14 to 19 vowel sounds. It depends how you count. Everybody gives you a different answer, but that's the range. And some have many different spellings, so the same sound can be spelt so many different ways, which is what we're going to cover in this video. Our first sound is the sound E, which is the sound you hear in café. And there are 5 possible ways of spelling E, which is why it's a bit confusing. The first one is, as the example, the E of café. So remember that example because it's a good one to remember. It's a specific E sound and it doesn't really exist in English. Then you can have the E as an ER, as in marcher, to walk. EZ, as in le nez, the nose. ET, the little word E, means and. And ED, as in le pied, which is the foot. And you see they all sound exactly the same. So in the third example, as in le nez, don't try and slip in a Z. There is no way it's ever pronounced because it's the sum of EZ that makes the sound E. And as in the sum of ED make the sound E as well. The next one is the sound E of bière. Now I chose this word because everybody knows what une bière is. If you don't know, it's a beer, and you ought to know really. There's 7 possible ways of spelling the sound E. The first one is, as in the example, la bière, beer, with an accent. Then it's la forêt. It's not the same accent. We used to call it a Chinese hat in primary school to help us remember. It's called accent circonflexe. And it doesn't make any difference. It's still the same E as before. And then you can spell it with what we call a tréma, which is those 2 little dots. No L. Again, it's a E sound. EI, 16, 16. EST, make E, and it means is, as in he is, il est. And everybody makes the mistake of saying est. Please don't say est, because if you say that, I'm hearing east. Okay, E, the sum of EST will make the sound E only. AI, as in jamais, never. And ET as well, as in bouquet, a bunch of flowers. Now we previously said that putting ET together makes the sound E, but only in the word and. If you have ET at the end of a longer word, it's an E, bouquet. You can see why it's a bit of a headache. Next is the sound O or A, which is why I didn't give an example, because we're going to see an example for both, so open and closed O. There's 4 possible ways of spelling those. The open O can be spelled normal O, or O with a circonflexe, as in horrible or l'hôpital, horrible, hospital. And then you can have it closed and it's spelled in exactly the same way. Le métro, l'hôtel, the metro and the hotel. So you see, it's not a rule that if you put an accent on it, it makes it open or close. It's just, it's the word that when you say the word, you have to say it right. It goes with the word. And then you've got the O of aussi, which is spelled AU, and aussi means as well or too, as in me too. And you see it's exactly the same as the closed O of métro. There is no difference. And the EAU is also a closed O, and it's the same as the previous one. Le gâteau, cake. Now I chose words that are easy for you to remember. Be careful with le gâteau, because un gâteau is any type of cake in French. It's not just a chocolate or a special cake. Before we carry on, I just want to say you can claim your free ebook at the link below, the 12 Golden Rules of French, and you could also have a look at my course, Parler Français Level 1, and it's geared at people who want to learn conversational French the fastest possible way. So have a look and let me know what you think. Now before that we had our simple sounds. Here's our compound sounds. So the first one is the sound E or E. Again, it depends on the word. There are 4 possible combinations. The first one is I would say the open E, as in a single E, la fleur, the flower. Then you can have OEU, and when you spell it, when you write it in French, and I can't do it here with that keyboard, but the O and the E are stuck together. And it's still the same as the previous one. It's it's la sœur, the sister. You completely ignore the O. Then you can spell it as a single E, ce, as in this, which is the masculine. And now you can have E, and that's the more closed sound. That doesn't exist in English, as in un peu and mieux. A bit, better, I put them together. Un peu mieux. If somebody asks you how you are because you've been poorly, un peu mieux is fine. And it's the same E. It's not an E, okay? It's a closed E. Now the sound un for information, so it's a sound that doesn't exist in English. You can spell 8 possible ways, and it's by far the most annoying and the most complex. The first one is un, as in the number 1, which is spelled UN. And I don't want to hear une, because that's 1 as in feminine. Okay? No, un, I want the masculine. Le parfum, perfume, and I don't want you slipping an M in there. It's parfum. There is no M that you can hear, because again it's the sum of the U and the M that make the sound un. Then we have IN, as in the example, l'invitation, invitation. IM, impossible, which is impossible. AIN, as in le pain, bread. EIN, as in éteindre, to switch off. YM, as in sympa, friendly. And EN at the end of the word européen, for instance, European. The next one is the sound en, as in France. There's 4 possible combinations. It's a bit more reasonable, this one. The AN of manger, to eat. AM of ambulance, ambulance. So it's got both. Ambulance has an en for AM and an en with AN. Ensuite, which is spelled with an EN, which means then or after that. And ensemble with an EM, which means together. And again, ensemble has got both EN and EM. So there's 2 en, ensemble. The sound on of blonde, thankfully, only has 2 possible combinations. ON, as in pardon, sorry. And OM, as in le nom, the name. Again, don't try and slip in an M. It's the sum of the OM that make the sound on. And now this is our last one, the sound Y, as in yo-yo. It's actually a semi-vowel sound. It's not strictly a vowel. Never mind, we're going to see it here because it's got 5 possible combinations. So the first way is AIL. And I chose the example of le travail, which means work, because people who learn French will say travel. No, it's travail, and it does not mean to travel anyway. It's an I. And then you've got the ILL, which makes Y, as in la famille, the family, la famille. So if you look at famille, there is no L sound that you can hear, because it's the whole ILL that makes it Y. So if you can't say la famille properly, just remember, make the E really long at the end, because that's what we do really. EIL make the sound A, as in le soleil, the sun. EUIL make the sound œil, as in le fauteuil, the armchair. And finally, we've got the Y, which is actually a consonant here, but never mind, as in payer, to pay. So the first one was I, the second one E, the third one A, the fourth one œil, and the last one Y. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give me a like to support me and subscribe so you never miss another video, because in the next one I will show you how to blend words like a pro.